The mysterious charm of the desert. During my first journey to the desert, we lost track of our destination, and along with it, we lost hopes of survival, for we could not see any sign of the oasis we were pursuing. Moreover, there were no water wells in our vicinity. Our bodies had become exhausted, and our souls were despairing, for the desert had proven itself to be unforgiving and ruthless. At that moment, I took upon myself a pledge that should we survive this torment, I would never return to it ever again. That was 2 years ago, and here I was again, daring the same desert, looking at the same place where we had previously lost our way, but right next to the same well that had saved our lives. While the desert may assert its contests, yet it also offers its sanctuary to lure its lovers and attracts them to her. Over time, it had captivated all its pursuers with its vast space and absolute tranquility. Its nomadic life is always associated with dangers, but it is these same dangers that entice its seekers, its ever-present death that spreads within its boundaries. When she smiles, it has the sweetest smile, and when she frowns, it is stern. Its stars laugh upon its travelers, and its overwhelming space controls and captures their hearts. So they stroll through it jolly, content, and fascinated with its beauty, and entrenched by its love. But beware, for the desert is a devious, conniving lover, who can display ultimate fury even after revealing total fulfillment. The desert is bewitching and attractive. Once you know her, you will be forever devoted to her, but it is not simple to realize her charm, nor comprehend her temptation. All you can know is that when she calls you, her call will penetrate your heart, and when she summons you, you obediently pack your travel gear willingly, driven by eagerness and pulled by memories. You may have spent most of your day walking on blistered feet, but walking would be easier on you than riding a camel. You remain with the caravan. Your eyes are lingering, tugging your feet in harmony with camel's footsteps' rhythms, your mouth dry and no sign of a water well to drink from. Your companions walk calmly in tranquility, their voices reduced to whisper and without any will to sing, their faces shrunk with exhaustion, their eyes blood red from fatigue, looking aimlessly with despair, gazing at the horizon where the blue sky meets the yellow sands. Yet the horizon seems faint and far-fetched. Tranquility of the scene is broken only by the quivering sound of the scarce remaining water in the skin canteens dangling from the camels' saddles. In the desert, we seldom talk, for it teaches us to be silent, and if surrounded by danger, we evade eyeing each other and discontinue talking, as talking becomes worthless, for everyone knows his fate and will endure facing it with persistence, knowing that moaning would be like laying the blame on the Almighty Allah, and this is a sin no Bedouin dares to take. The Bedouin strongly believes that Allah has granted him his life, and along with it is destined him to follow a certain path, which may lead to the death that was ordained for him, so he can only accept his fate willingly. The Bedouin always recounts, "Wherever you may be, death will overtake you, even if you should be within towers of grand structures." The Quran al-Karim, Surah number 4, Ayah number 78. There is no escape from what has been ordained by Allah. One can only make pledges and oaths not to ever return to the desert, provided that one can survive the desert hardship and come out alive. Another day comes to an end and the caravan stops to rest. but the tents don't get assembled because the men are too drained to think about their bodies. It seems that the sun has also had what the men have had of exhaustion, as if that glow that the sun had to bestow gleaming its light on the desert sands had also beaten her the same way the men got beaten up by their arduous journey. This vanquishing battle with the desert had caused the sun's face to be battered, making her emanate only faint red rays like thin lines of bleeding at day's end. The sun seems to retreat, as we did, to nurse her wounds and rejuvenate her strengths for another day of battle with the desert. But the desert never fails to defeat both us and the sun in a perpetual manner. As night begins to fall, its precursors chasing what is left of daylight, then night prevails, parading its glittering stars or exhibiting its smiling moon. The desert night tells the most beguiling part of its life, where you find yourself entrenched in stillness, yearning for a talk to shut out a long silence. Frivolous jokes start flying, narrated first by the caravan junior, benefiting from his high-pitched voice over his elders. Although not in full harmony, the voices of the Bedouins start pouring, going up and down until they blend in a common tone. And conversation continues, and so on. And this is how the desert initiates its magic. As the desert night breeze casts itself, it starts refreshing the spirits of all the caravan travelers. It takes only moments before drumming on the empty wooden water containers, Fanatis begins, and for dancing and singing to start. Other men, attending to camels, immediately get drawn by the sound of the beats and singing. They all gather around the campfire, each eyeing his comrade's face to ascertain their well-being in unharmed presence. Everyone tries to be more joyous than the one sitting next to him, as if to strengthen their grit, calm their souls, renew their confidence, and boost their faiths. Yet we tend to fault ourselves, which proves to be an awkward and testing liability. We try to delight in music, wanting to guide light upon our troubles and confusion, so someone might declare, "The caravan camels are all well. I have tended to that wound, and it turns out to be less serious than I thought." Another would say, "Bu Hassan told us that he saw the sign leading to the water well to the right," and so on. We entice ourselves with such dialogue to convince ourselves that all is well and as we wished it. But all of this only leads us to deceive ourselves. But it is the desert. It had blemished our wits, and its charms overtook our minds, making us like the man who fell madly in love with a beautiful damsel, but she was hostile and distant, shunning him away to make life bleak for him. But as night fall, she smiles upon him, turning the whole world around into a delightful paradise. So is the desert. When she smiles upon you, you forget everything, all your troubles, all your pains, and all the adversities you faced and about to face. You forget the agony of thirst, and you forget that you may have escaped death by a hairline today. But death will be lingering for you tomorrow, awaiting your next step. When the desert smiles, there isn't a place else in the world that's more worthy for one to live in. Nor could one find a home on this earth more fulfilling to settle at.